Don't look now, Ohio State. Alabama is nipping at your heels for the number one recruiting class. Yeah, money can make you feel like you're at the top of the mountain, but all the momentum is in Keelon DeBoer's corner and Alabama, the dynasty in college football. We're going to talk about that. They said the guy couldn't get 5 stars after he built that great recruiting class. Now all of a sudden you turn around and they've got 3, and there's some more on the hook. We're going to get into that as well. One of my all-time favorite Alabama players, College Football Hall of Fame, Antonio Langham. How good are Alabama's linebackers? All of that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. But the thing I want to tell you guys is we missed you yesterday. We got to sometimes just take a step back just because we want you guys to know how much we appreciate doing the show. And we want you to appreciate how much it is for us to do the show. The best way, though, to get this thing started is the most uniting words in college football history. Roll Tide. Oh, there he is. Big, sexy Elmo from WJLX and other stations in the central west side of the greatest state in the Union, Alabama. What's up, brother?
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Man, if I was doing any better, I couldn't tell you about it. I'm in Vegas right now. Did you know that?
I was looking, I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, I like that shirt. We did not coordinate this, but
we coordinate.
Yeah, I like the shirt. And Roll Tide from Vegas, the hottest point in the world, it seems like right now.
Well, what people don't know is you're coming here today.
Yeah.
By the time they watch this, you'll probably be on a flight out here. And you ask me, you're like, how hot is it? And I'm like, look, man, this isn't southern heat. This is different heat. This is if you get cremated, how hot it is.
You're right. I was about to say. I was looking at the weather, and I'm sorry, but I was like, what in the hell am I getting myself into?
Well, it's hot, but look, man, you know how it is. Like, it's going to be hot this time of year.
It's summer.
You can deal with it, but man, you have a lot to celebrate. Great job doing the media days for out in Walker County. And then the other thing is that people, you guys don't know this guy and how hard he works, but brand new station in Hamilton, Alabama. My man has worked his ass off. Sorry if that offends anybody, but this guy's worked so hard on that. We're so proud of him. Station launched a couple of days ago. Man, congratulations, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's been a long week, and I'm ready to finally get out to Vegas and enjoy the weekend out there.
Well, when you guys see us together next, we'll be here in Vegas, and I'm going to try to keep him from spending all his money at the Mirage, where they're shutting the doors on the Mirage. And the rumor in Vegas is that they have to give out like a certain, millions of dollars. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm an early bird, so I'm gonna fly over there in the morning. And I'm gonna put some money in the slots, and I'm gonna see if that's even true.
Well, I hope you hit it big. Hit it big before I get there.
Well, Catfish's dad did one time.
Yeah,
here we go. Talking about hitting it big, Brett. Alabama is going to have the number one class. It's just a matter of time. And at 20 commits, they're closing in on Ohio State. They've pulled past Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, Keelon Russell, and also Big Michael Carroll are now 5 stars. They've got 3 5 stars. This class is getting better and better. Even the coaching staff can't believe how well they've done. Roll Tide, man. This is what it's all about. I love what Keelon DeBoer and his staff are doing.
Yeah, they're Ohio State with 23 commitments. Alabama sitting at 20. with more to come. Obviously, we're waiting on a couple of big ones, hopefully, and but yeah, we're biting at the heels now, and like you say, it's a matter of time. I don't. I think we'll be the number one class. We've said it all along, and but what I really like is also sitting ahead of Georgia. So
Mhm.
we are dominating in the recruiting front and dominating in the SEC, which is good. When you have all this competition from a national powerhouse like Georgia, let's just call it like it is, uh, you know, and Texas and Oklahoma and all these guys to dominate in the SEC in recruiting, and then potentially the entire country's big news. Great news for Alabama.
Yeah, and it really goes to show how locked in Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan and Kane Womack and the entire staff is. Marcus Shepard. How many times have you heard people say, "Man, I love Marcus Shepard"? Don't forget about Freddie. Like these guys. Robert Gillespie. Not my cousin, but we should be. These
Yeah.
guys. Honestly, man, like all kidding aside, these guys are out there. They're busting their tails. They're getting it done. A lot of people thought that when Alabama lost Nick Saban that there was going to be a big drop-off in recruiting, and that was one of the things we were looking for. All we're seeing is that, honestly, man, this guy might have a little more momentum than Saban has in his last few years. Like, people are really fired up, the families of these kids, of coming to Alabama and playing football for the Tide.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would say it, but we may have gotten an improvement. I don't, I that's those are mighty big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the scary thing about this. This dynasty, this transition has been the smoothest ever. And the guy hasn't coached it down yet, but if his background's any indication, look out, because this train's not stopping. It may be gaining momentum.
Yeah, and look, Saban's the last few years, you could tell, like he's in 70s, like he's in his 70s. Like, he still did a great job, but it wasn't the same. I was talking to Jake Coker on the Elephant in the Room podcast, and he's like, yeah, it was, like the crying Saban wasn't the Saban that we got,
No.
Like, and I get that. Like, and it's not a knock against Saban. It's just like, man, you get older and the things that like kind of resonate with you are a little different. But
right.
I'm really excited about what this staff is doing. I'm so glad Robert Gillespie, Freddie Roach stuck around, and I love what these other guys are doing with them. So yeah, that's exciting. They were talking about 3 stars, Dijon, from out in California, cornerback, 5-star, right? Russell, quarterback from quarterback from Texas, 5-star. Carroll, offensive lineman from Pennsylvania, 5-star. There's other 5-stars that are out there. I look for Hayward, the offensive lineman, to join this class and make this offensive line class a monster, right?
Yeah,
but,
Haywood's going to be
Brett, this is going to be the number one recruiting class. And I don't care how much money Ohio State has. I don't care about Georgia and Kirby. I think that when you go head-to-head with Alabama right now, the parents want their kids playing for this Alabama staff.
Yep. Nope, you're right. You're right.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little linebackers. Phil Steele has Alabama's linebackers ranked as 14th best in the country. I was surprised by that. I figured, like, going into this season, like, I thought, well, Alabama, Campbell with so much experience, like that I felt like this linebacker class was going to be the one that really led Alabama.
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit. Phil Steele put out his publication earlier, and I think he had Alabama at 3rd in the SEC, behind Texas and Georgia. He gave Alabama some love, but maybe not like in years past. But I've always respected Phil Steele and his opinion. I think the guy's really, really smart. And but 14th best in the linebacking core, that's that surprised me a little bit.
Well, I've always felt like with Alabama linebackers, like that's kind of been the bread and butter for Alabama. Like you talk about the other position groups, and running backs always been kind of on the offensive side of the ball where Alabama's, strength is. But look, man, no one's going to come into this season with more experience at linebacker than Deontay Lawson. All he's got to do is stay healthy. I mean, the guy's a machine out there. And then Jaheed Campbell, I feel like for Alabama, like that's one of the strengths of this defense. Like you guys know, I'm a little worried about cornerback and secondary. I know they went out there and they got a lot of guys. I know that they moved Malachi to safety, which I'm fine with that. I love that. Cornerback, I mean, we got a whole bunch of new guys. We got to get after the passer. We don't have the superstar right now. We don't have Will Anderson Jr. We don't have Dallas Turner, but somebody else is going to have to kind of swing into that as a new defense. But linebackers, that spot, when I look at it, I go, man, this is where we're going to win.
Yeah. The linebacking group, I was like you, I thought was going to be pretty stout at, and I think we still will. Like I say, we've got all these rankings and you're ranking all these positions, and you got all these 5 stars and 4 stars. And I'm just ready to play football, man. At this point, it's 150 degrees outside.
Well, it's not 150 degrees at your house. It's 150 degrees in Vegas. You'll find out here in the next day or so.
Right. But, like I said, yesterday we did our high school football media day. We always do that.
Great job, by the way, dude. Great job.
And we always do that right before SEC media days, which is coming up next week. So that means, and it was sort of like the coaches yesterday, they were saying that always signals that football is here.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. And people, I've become friends with a lot of people in your area that know you from, doing the things that you do, and I'm getting to know them. But I've always been, this, Walker County. That's my adopted hometown. Oakman.
I know, yeah.
You know that Oakman, because of Bull Corey. Like
that's right.
My big bro made me a honorary Oakman, Alabama.
An Oakmanite.
Yeah, but now that you're on in Hamilton and some other surprises that are coming, people are going to be excited about the high school football coverage that you do. All right, let me talk about this, dude. Did the Tailgate show for years with one of the and I don't care what anybody says. Jay Barker is one of the greatest people I've ever met. I'm just telling you guys this. He's one of the great, and nobody talks bad about Jay. Jay's one of the awesome dudes that I've met. He's a great person. He'll do anything for anybody. He's genuine. Love Jay. And when we were doing the show, some of his guys would show up, and one of them was Antonio Langham. And I got to tell you, like, there's not a lot of times that I get starstruck. Okay. But I'm sitting there with Jay and then Antonio Langham, and I'm going back to 92. I'm going back to 92 against Florida, pick 6, ball game, Bama wins. I'm going back to 92, really 93, Sugar Bowl, when Miami was supposed to beat Alabama. Antonio, George Teague, that big defensive line up front, Brother Bill. So congratulations to I really love Antonio Langham, man. I'm glad he's gotten into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. That's so cool.
Well deserved. I mean, and you hit the nail on the head. He's a great guy, and that brings back a lot of memories for not only us, but all of the Alabama fans. Antonio Langham, he got exactly what he deserved in this College Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Yeah, so cool. All right, Brett. With all that said, this is the time of the show where you take over. We're both wearing our tie-dyed. Later today, we're gonna be out here together, and then when we do our next show, everybody's gonna see us in the same spot. With that said, brother, when I come back from this break, and I want to tell everyone right now how much we appreciate our friends at Pearl River Resort. Brett and I went. He had a great time. We even missed him on a show because, he had such a great time. Such a great time out there. And you guys will as well. Put $50 down in the sports book. You can play Dancing Rabbit for $40. You got table games and slots. The water park, Geyser Falls is great. Dancing Rabbit golf course. And the other part about it is every time I'm out there, I always feel like family, man. I just feel comfortable. It's a fun place. The other thing is this, Brett, is if you like sausage biscuits, and I'm not a huge biscuits fan because my grandmother used to make the best biscuits. It's hard to find those. I was telling those guys the other day, Dancing Rabbit's biscuits at the little restaurant they have there at the clubhouse. They honestly, man, I'm telling you guys, they remind me of what my grandmother used to do when I was a kid. So you find out for yourself. Tell me what you think. But when we come back from this very short timeout, Brett takes over the show. And you never know what's going to happen when Brett takes over.
River Resort.
They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. It gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Yes, the 12th day of July. Mick, it's Richard Simmons' birthday.
I love Richard Simmons. I know you do too.
Oh, sweating to the oldies.
Sweating to the oldies. Yeah, Meal a Deal. You remember Meal a Deal? Could you have handled Meal a Deal?
I forgot all about that.
I don't think you could have handled Meal a Deal.
Probably not.
I mean, and look, I'm not saying I would be any better, but I mean, like to have, you're going to pull your car down on the table. Well, I'm not going to eat any of that. Boom.
Yeah. I don't know about that. He's Richard is 76 today.
Haven't seen the guy in a long time. Like he kind of went into hiding. I don't really know why, but he did.
They're supposed to be doing a movie about him, and Pauly Shore is going to play him.
I love Pauly Shore, and Encino Man's a great movie.
Bill Cosby is 86 today.
You and I, we get, I want to tell you something right now, Brett. You and I, we talk about Bill Cosby all the time because we love the Cosby Kids, the little cartoon with Fat Albert and the gang, and then we love the Pudding Pops. And my uncle, I'm going to tell you this right now. My uncle thinks, this is embarrassing to say, but he thinks Bill Cosby was framed.
Oh, really? Wow.
He does. Don't say.
Like,
don't tell him that I'm saying that. But yeah, he thinks Bill Cosby was framed.
I feel like we're something to celebrate today. Today is National Pecan Pie Day.
Yeah, and you said that, and you knew when you said that. Like, I'm allergic to tree nuts, so don't give me any pecan pie. Although I'm sure it's delicious.
It is fantastic. I might have to find some later today. Here's something that you can celebrate is today is National French Fry Day.
Man, I don't know what it is about French fries, but I love them, man. The idea that you're going to take a potato, you're going to cut it up into slices, you're going to fry it, and then you dip it in stuff. Like I like ketchup and mustard combo. I like honey mustard. French fries are one of the greatest things that we have as a human being. And if you don't like, what about sweet potato French fries? You want to go a little healthy? Go sweet potato French fries. I had those for breakfast today.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And I know you're going, no chance. No, I did. And they were, Brett, they were scrumptious.
Were they scrumptious? Oh, it's just delicious.
That was delicious.
Look at what happened this day. 1933, the new U.S. Industrial Code was established to fix a minimum wage. Minimum wage was the first one passed by Congress, and it was 40 cents an hour.
Yeah, the problem was this, man. It's like we're kind of on the other end of this right now when they want to make minimum wage so high that people are getting paid more than like job is.
Yeah.
Back then, it was the other end of it. Like, hey, man, I can pay these guys like 20 cents. It's like, no, I mean, like there has to be a bottom to what you're going to pay somebody, and back then, the Industrial Revolution, the problem was like everybody was getting rich except the people that were doing the work.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that there's a fair medium for a lot of this stuff, and having a minimum wage is important.
Major League.
Well, hold on though. But if you make the minimum wage, like you just think you're going to show up and be like, hey, we're going to make minimum wage $20. Don't complain when your pizza's $60.
Not true.
Okay.
1954, Major League Baseball Players Association is founded.
And it's the most powerful union, Brett, in our country.
Much, yep.
They're to the point now, and I cover baseball. This, where the honestly, man, having a guaranteed contract for some of these guys is ridiculous, because they get hurt, and then you're paying them for 9 years and they play 2, so
right. They're
kind of the other end of like, the whole Industrial Revolution, there's a balance that you got to have in this stuff.
Yeah.
And, and MLB's union is, I mean, like you look at like the gorilla of unions, it's them. They are running the show. Right. They are running the show.
You are right. And finally, this morning, 1962, the Rolling Stones, as they were known at the time, played their debut gig at the Marquee Club in London, England.
So we debate a lot. Like, I'm in Vegas to see Dead and Company, off-send of the greatest American rock band. And and you guys can argue with me, but I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. In our country's histories, with Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead, right? But then there's like the greatest rock band ever, right? And it's hard to, look, man, it's hard. You can't, the Beatles are so damn good. Like you can't just come in there and throw that, but it was always the Beatles and the Stones. Yeah. And the thing that the Stones have, they're like the Hank Aaron of like bands, like you can say what you want to say about Hammer and Hank, but the guy just he would just hit 30 home runs every year, like every time you turn around, like, well, he's better, but like with Mays is better. Yeah. But Mays didn't play as many years, like,
yeah.
So I've got nothing but love and respect. And honestly, man, when your front man is named Mick, I'm going to love that. Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and those guys. They're probably not better than the Beatles, but they may be a better rock band, Brett, just because of their legacy.
They've done it a long time, man, and they keep doing it consistently.
Dude, they started at the same time as the Beatles pretty much, and they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. But that's a look at this day in history. Can't wait to jump on the jet plane. I'll see you in a few hours, pal.
Dude, have a safe travels, man. And I'm telling you guys right now, I can't wait for this guy to get out here and hang. We missed you guys yesterday, but, life gets in the way. This is vacation. Believe it or not, this is vacation. And we miss you guys when we're on vacation. But we still got to have vacation. And then, like, SEC media games and days and then football and all that stuff. But we did this because we love you guys and we appreciate you so much. And thank you for getting in the comments section. Brother, you have a safe trip, and we will talk to you guys together mañana.